Hi Aquarius, welcome to your November 2018 Tarot and Astrology reading. Thank you for all your likes and subscriptions. Please subscribe if you haven't already to the channel. Would love to have you. So, Aquarius. Jupiter is moving into Sagittarius on the 8th of November. A sign and a placement that is much easier for you than Jupiter was in Scorpio. It's going to be hitting your 11th house energy. And for those of you that don't know, this represents your social connections. It represents your place in society. You actually are 11th house energy, Aquarius. So this is going to be incredibly comfortable for you. And it's going to really affect the way you deal with people. Because Aquarian is a people sign. You're the humanitarian after all, and you'll find with Jupiter in this side of the sky for you, you will connect with amazing people. You're going to meet wonderful friends. If you've ever felt isolated in the last year and you've not felt as connected to people, this is the year where your connections really jump up a notch. You could find yourself with the type of friends you've dreamed of having, whether it's because they go on interesting vacations and you get to go, or because they're very high up in the ranks of their career, or they're very successful, or they can help you get up the ranks in your career. The connections that you make in the next year are going to be very special, more special than you've possibly had in, well, I guess 12 years since the last time, so maybe you remember that or maybe you don't. If you think back to 12 years ago, the type of people that you were meeting or working with, or the type of connections that you made. Now bear in mind, 12 years ago, the internet was not what it is now. And this will give you a chance for some recognition. So whether or not you work in social media, you work in marketing, you work in advertising, your career could really take an upswing, and your social connections and your networking, as usual, with Jupiter in any area of your chart, whatever it is, it enhances, right? So another thing to bear in mind is that even though Jupiter is going to be camped out in Sagittarius, the Mercury retrograde is also occurring in Sagittarius, and that could mean that a few old connections in terms of your friendships resurface. So people from the past that you used to hang around with, used to know, may actually get back in contact with you and be able to offer you something. Retrograde periods favor connections with people from the past. They don't necessarily favor what is new. So when you're thinking of something to do or something to start, it is best not to start anything brand spanking new during these periods. I mean, we have had retrograde periods for a long time. Mars was retrograde in your sign, and that was quite an extended stay for Mars, and you don't really like having Mars in your sign, you know. So that is going to be moving into Pisces, I believe, in December though. But that will be a nice breath of fresh air in you. It'll give some much needed momentum to your financial sector. So things are looking up incredibly, Aquarius. You could be dealing with a fire sign personality, or a King of Wands personality in general. This is someone who's enthusiastic, someone who's very outgoing, somebody who could be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or it's just somebody who is in the entrepreneurial spirit or the athletic spirit. Someone who's very into sports, for example, is a King of Wands personality archetype. The World. You could be dealing with a Leo. You could also be dealing with a fellow Aquarius, Scorpio, or a Taurus. But as I always say with these readings, you know, signs, you just have to, as you're reading the cards, you just have to mention the associated signs. It doesn't necessarily determine who you're dealing with exactly. Do you know what I mean? These are general reads, so don't get concerned. Let's see what's serving you. Oh, the Sun! Okay, sorry, but there really is a Leo energy here. Oh, the Ace of Wands. Now, I don't deal in reversal, so I don't know how that happened. The Ace of Wands is challenging you. Again, as I say, favoring something new is not a good time. It's not a good time to start something new. 10 of Wands is the outcome. So this indicates to me that you could be working yourself into the bone, down to the bone, on a specific situation. I have the 3 of Pentacles, so I do sense that you've been giving something your all, giving something your attention, really trying to get something off the ground. And quite possibly with, I mean, Venus retrograding, it's currently retrograding in Libra, and it will be until the 16th of November. Fellow air sign energy, and for you, Libra is that 9th house energy of travel. Now, Aquarius, that being said, with the world in the middle. Travel plans could have gone awry, travel plans could have been delayed. Mercury can do that as well towards the end of the month. But the way that I'm seeing this is it's a completion that is delayed. Completion of a project is maybe taking more of your time or energy than you'd like it to. This could be true for a relationship, particularly if you have been dealing with a Leo personality. I sense some of you, and Mars in your sign will do this. It'll either charge you up or run you down. And given the extended stay, Mars in your sign might actually have been running you down, because what happens when you have this extreme momentum of energy, eventually you will use it up and you will wear yourself out. And with Mars's retrograde in the summer, and I believe that maybe the Leo energy is to do with Leo season that has passed, you have possibly been feeling a bit burnt out. Don't forget the Ace of Wands is in the challenge position. Okay, so this again could be true for a relationship. Somebody in your life, it could be dealing with a Leo person who's quite tough. Tough to get along with at the moment. Bear in mind the fixed energy in the skies. Venus was just retrograding in Scorpio. We have the Sun in Scorpio. We have Mercury in Scorpio, the new moon in Scorpio. So fixed energy is very, very intense at present. And Mars in Aquarius, that air-water combination, is not quite syncing. So what this is telling me, Aquarius, is that you need to reflect a little bit on your self-care, what you're doing to look after yourself, particularly if it's a thought pattern with the Ten of Wands here. You could be running yourself into the ground. And that will not recharge you anyway. That's not going to move things along. I think you're possibly trying to move things along or waiting for something to happen. You're possibly also weighing up your decision about an entrepreneurial idea or a career objective. And you're getting answers this month. Yep. You're getting answers. King of Cups underneath. Again, could be dealing with a water sign. So, some of you have actually been feeling, and I don't know how many of you maybe have been feeling this way. The Ace of Wands and the Page of Cups in the challenge suggests to me that some of you have been feeling a real lack of romance in your life. Or lack of fun time, like a lack of fun, because the Ace of Wands and the Page of Cups together are having these sparkly moments with people where you are very attracted to a person or you really enjoy someone's company, and some of you are feeling like the spark is gone and you feel like it's been work, or you feel like it's been lesson. With Judgment in the helpful position, I do feel a little bit like something could have ended relatively recently that was quite large, or you're considering ending something, or the end is near. It could also signify, the thing about Judgment is it can signify calling an end to something, but it can also have this strange resurfacing, especially with Venus when it was retrograding in the sign of Scorpio. There was kind of a resurfacing of a lot of old issues, and now that it's in Libra, it could definitely be old connections that are sort of popping up out of nowhere, especially if you're dealing with a Leo personality, or potentially another Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. But nonetheless, people that have resurfaced for you, Aquarius, or people that you're dealing with at the moment, may seem all hard work and no reward. That's the sort of vibe I'm getting. It's almost like the straw that broke the camel's back. You really are feeling like you need a release of some kind. You feel like you need a little light relief. It does feel heavy as we go into the month. And yet, here we have the Sun assisting you, which suggests with Judgment here that things are changing, you know, very, very, very strongly to something a bit more lively, like a bit more sparky. And I'm imagining this is Jupiter changing sign. It's releasing that heavy Scorpiophonic energy and embracing the light, jovial energy of Sagittarius. Now, I always think of Jupiter as the Santa Claus of the planets, and he's sort of coming in here ready to be his authentic self. He's never happier than when he's in Sagittarius, right? And the Sun card in Judgment is suggesting that this month you're going to be feeling a lot lighter. It's going to be a real lightening up moment, even if you have been trying to get something off the ground that's felt less than eventful, right? It's like you've been trudging up this hill for so long, you can't remember what it's like to catch your breath or catch a break. something magnificent seems to be happening here if you don't give up, Aquarius. There's definitely sorry, I hit the camera. There's definitely somebody returning too, so I know a lot of people don't like that, but this can be past energies in terms of friendships. Don't forget, as I said, the Venus retrograde and the Mercury retrograde can bring back old friendships and old relationships. They're not completely recommended, though, I must say here, Aquarius, because they're in the challenge position. The nostalgia may be getting the better of you. You may be feeling like things were better a long time ago. But wouldn't you rather go forward and make them better in the future than hark back to times that maybe weren't actually as good as you thought? I actually think a lot of you are possibly thinking, God, it was so much easier being a kid, because the realities of day-to-day life seem to be weighing you down, and you're thinking of those Six of Cups moments whenever you were a bit more carefree, or things seem carefree looking back. And the memory that we have as humans is somewhat selective, Aquarius, so don't be under the illusion that you can't have better than what has gone, okay? Because the Sun is the most powerful card that I can see here in front of me. The Sun and the World are very, very, very strong energies. Even Judgment, and the Judgment card and the Sun card are both in the what's helping you situation. The Nine of Wands is suggesting that you just have to keep pushing, you just have to keep doing you, because with the Nine of Cups, some wishes are definitely being granted, and you might be hoping for something a bit more with the Fool card and the Hierophant. You're hoping for something stable yet fun, which is the interesting part of being fixed air, Aquarius, is that you want to have this, you want to have something that you can count on, something that you can call yours, something that is stable and isn't going to change dramatically every 5 minutes, yet you want to feel carefree and joyful about it, and think about things with a light, airy, breezy nature rather than feel so drudged down with the day-to-day, because the day-to-day isn't what satisfies us as human beings. And the Queen of Swords here suggests that you have to let your imagination pull you through from a situation that you're feeling is drudging you down. Now, the Hanging Man suggests as well that now is not the time to make moves. Rather, now is the time to let the universe surprise you. Now, with the Sun card and the Nine of Cups, I can't help but feel like there are very warmer moments ahead that you don't actually have to lift a finger to achieve. So, with Judgment, you never have much of a call anyway. Judgment kind of comes in and cleans house emotionally and materially, and it really releases that which no longer serves us. And it's so much stronger than the Six of Cups here, which is nostalgia, which isn't serving you. If anything, you're getting ready to pave the way to something bigger and better. The Emperor underneath, you're very much taking charge. Now, the reason the Hanging Man is there is because during retrograde season, it is more about reflective energy rather than dramatic action to be taken. And the beautiful thing as well about the Sun is it just does its thing without being asked. I mean, the Sun is there casting us light, casting us heat, and nobody has to ask it to do anything. Similar to this reading, you don't actually have to do anything to have your Sun moment. The Hanging Man is saying just chill for a second. Just imagine that you will look back on the parts of your life that are still yet to come. You'll look back on them further down the line and think that was the best time. The times you're looking back at now aren't as good as you think they are. Actually, with the Sun card, I think what is coming to you is going to make you feel a lot more alive and a lot more jovial. And that's the beautiful thing about Jupiter going into Sagittarius. It's actually going to bring that energy to everyone. But to have had it in fellow fixed energy Scorpio, which is reluctant to change, and then it moves into mutable Sagittarius, the changes which are occurring right now may seem a little bit heavy, I think, with the Ten of Wands here. And the Queen of Swords is your energy, and you are getting ready to cut a few strings. Because when we look at the Hanged Man, and we look at her holding the sword, she can help him. You know, she can cut him loose. And I think a lot of people are relying on you to do that for them. But are you doing it for yourself? Do you know what I mean? I sort of see this as everyone's asking you for help, Aquarius, or everyone's asking you to pick up the pieces, or everyone's asking you to do the hard labor or do all the work, or they're asking you to change. But you really don't have to. You can just reflect and let things transpire. and trust that things are actually going to be turning out much different to how you'd anticipated. Your 10 of Wands moment signifies the end of challenge. When I think of Mars in Aquarius, I do think of the 10 of Wands, the end of challenge, the end of this stress that is so much that it's almost physical. You know, mental stress which becomes physical. It manifests in your muscles, it manifests in your nervous system. Do you know what I'm saying? And then with the sun, it puts some heat in your bones. I do think if you're dealing with a Leo person, you could be finding that they're asking too much at this point. And then suddenly it goes playful. It's like you have this really, really, really heavy moment where everything appears too much, and then suddenly everything's joyous. It's a very strange contrast, but it's there. It's there. It's offering you something. The Sun in Judgment is kind of this finding playfulness under harsh judgment. You know what I mean? It's using your best, it's using your best knowledge on a situation, and then realizing it's not as heavy as it seemed. I think somebody actually could be coming into your life, Aquarius, that's new, that makes everything feel a lot more light-hearted and free, like a lot more carefree. It reminds you of childhood. You feel like you've known this person before. I mean, the sun is the epitome of happy news. It's a happy release. This is what this is, Aquarius. It's a happy release. And I'm delving into these cards. I'm looking at the 10 of Wands, the Hanging Man, and I'm just thinking, you can afford to drop a few wands. You can afford to let loose. You can afford to not feel so restricted. All the fixed energy is reluctant to move. And you can just say, fine, I'm just going to enjoy myself and wait till those energy shifts. That's what the focus is for the sun. It's enjoying yourself and waiting for everyone else to catch up. It's a bit of an awakening, Aquarius, is one thing that I'm going to say here. It's like awakening. It's an awakening that you've been waiting for. If I could get the cards. My fingers. Yeah, that looks like an awakening to me. Enough is enough. And you want to enjoy yourself again. Enough of this heavy stuff. It doesn't all have to be so heavy. You should be enjoying yourself, Aquarius. Cut yourself free and concentrate on the more light-hearted aspects, and the rest of it seems to sort itself out, because judgment is going to take care of this for you. You really don't have to do anything. I'm not saying that means you don't get out of bed and you don't go to your job or anything like that. It's not that. It's not, you know, I know that you're looking at the Fool and kind of thinking, well, that might be a nice life, because the Fool's really joy-free and carefree, and he's just starting out, and he has a fresh pair of eyes. That's what the Sun in Judgment wants to give you. It's a fresh pair of eyes. You don't have to stick to the old just because it seemed better, okay? Out with the old and in with the new, Aquarius. So I hope you enjoyed that reading, and I will see you mid-November. Bye. Sorry, Aquarius, I forgot to give you a guidance card. Okay, let's see what guidance messages we have for the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius. Nope, here we go. Bright future. Perfect. Stop worrying. Everything's going to be fine. Focus yourself on the good times, Aquarius. There's going to be loads in the next couple of months with this jovial Jupiter. So just make sure that you are making time to enjoy yourself and have fun, because life's not all about the hard parts. You know, it's really taking some time out to appreciate where you are and what you have, because every day might not be good, but you can see the good in every day. And I think getting bogged down and things not moving, because the retrogrades have gotten to everybody, getting bogged down and things not moving and feeling a little bit stuck and feeling a little bit like you're not where you want to be, and you're starting to think the past was better than where you're going. It's not. Lakshmi here says you have a bright future and to stop worrying. So take care, Aquarius, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.